Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a very, very special episode of MechaWill. We're going to be playing one of the best games in existence. I say that completely with sarcasm out of the way. I sincerely believe that Shadow of the Colossus is one of the greatest games of all time. And I'm really super excited to be starting playing this game. So let's go ahead and pop in. The way that I'm doing this, you can see my setup here is I'm actually going through PlayStation Now. Funnily enough, this is not a paid promotion by PlayStation Now. I want you guys to know, but I have been enjoying the service, man. $15 a month, subscribe to hundreds of PS3 games, stream them over your decent internet, and you guys will be able to see how this goes. Hopefully, the series can continue all the way to the end. I'm looking to do a full playthrough of this game, and if this is your first time seeing Shadow of the Colossus, great. You'll be able to see why it's such a phenomenal game, and we can go ahead and show you all the goodies. So let's jump in. Yeah, so obviously I'm playing this on the PlayStation 4, but this is a stream of the HD upres that they released on PlayStation 3, which, funnily enough, was in anticipation of The Last Guardian releasing. So now that The Last Guardian, 9 years later, is actually coming out, I figured this would be a great time to do this. But this is my first time ever streaming something while simultaneously, kind of capturing it through PlayStation Now, so hopefully it all does what it's supposed to. If it doesn't, we'll all have a good time sitting around the campfire listening to my lovely stories. Today's a good day. I took the day off work, just decided why not. Today's the day. It's a beautiful day outside in sunny Southern California. All right, here we go. Also, disregard any of the messages in the top right. It turns out, I guess the way they do this is all right, I'm gonna shut up for the intro, actually. Blue point. Yeah, this game is such a beautifully gorgeous game. Pretty much an all-time classic. If I have to rate some of my most favorite games in existence, Shadow of the Colossus is always in like the top 5 at least. This game is setting up kind of the initial premise. I hope you guys don't mind me talking a little bit. With this, well, I suppose all you can see here, you see a young boy and his horse making a journey, and you don't know where and you don't know why. There's something about having a game that really nails all of the aspects, not just like the gameplay or the the storyline or the kind of the lore and the backstory that really makes you get involved in it, but also the art style, which is super important to me, and the music, which is beautiful in this game. As he's making his journey, it starts to rain. Just such a phenomenal game. Perfect. If this is your guys' first time, like I said before, I hope we're getting like a totally mixed bag, because just look at that. I'm in awe every time I see this game. The concept of it, it's brilliant. there's really something to be said about how beautiful it is. You know, when looking at a lot of Last Guardian previews, the question is always, why are people so anticipated for that game? And this is why. This is why. Traveling over mountains and through forests, he finds his way into a gorgeous open land. This game is an open world game, and a long bridge to a pretty mysterious citadel or sanctuary or I guess tower. And this is where we start our game. Now I do have a save file on here already, but we're going to start a brand new game so we can go through the whole game together. And here we'll find out the name of the boy and his quest and what kind of journey we're starting here. And 3D lighting effects, dog. It's alright, Worsey. Man, look at that. Look at the architecture of this place. It's pretty astounding. Thinking on in-game terms, you really wonder who are the people that created this massive freaking designed, you know, the stonework here. It's pretty phenomenal. And here we are. Feet. I see feet poking out of there. So as you can see, we have a human person in our hands. No shit, dog. Yes, cloth physics. Looked like he just threw away a floppy square box. That place began from the resonance of intersecting points. I know there's technically dialogue underneath, but they are memories replaced by ends and not and etched in the stone. Blood, young sprouts, sky. And the one with the ability to control beings created from light. In that world, it is said that if one should wish it, one can bring back the souls of the dead. But to trespass upon that land is strictly forbidden. And something tells me we're not going to follow the rules. And here we get to see the quests start to outline. In these lands, it is known that there is a being that can control the souls and the life of the living. What are these nasty things popping up out of the ground? Horse nose. Don't fuck with the man that's got a sword, is all I gotta say. That's a pretty nasty looking blade. Uh-oh. Thou possess the ancient sword. So thou art mortal.
Dormi, ifo. Alu yula. Oshtu hailwa wuku aikwa. Ujus yazu tsudoko. Was norte kyo wuti yula.
I will. You
And we are legion.
Izukimku. Idus orodo yu iweriku. It's not ours amuso. Alu tiklik. If the least to iso.
Come on, Dormy. Don't be a dick, man.
Uronora.
Anything to save the pretty lady.
I'll bet.
I was beautiful, not peace, not war. On the zones around, I will continue. Air was not you were dead. You were
You do. You bet, Sanada.
I thought was no suit. Oh, you and me, I answer. Was you and me, Zula, Ukira Jewel. No suit, I'll do
All around.
You are the widow,
Did you not hear me earlier, dog? Anything to save the pretty lady. Very well. Welcome Your Shadow of the Colossus. And here we are. This is us.
You, I will do anything.
Now, basically, the guy's name is Dormine. We were not sent, we left on a quest to enter the ancient forbidden lands to find the one that is known to control the souls of the dead. For the reason of saving this pretty lady up here. And so we brought her here and we asked. Here we are, and it's on the place, hold up the sword. And what Dormine told us is that we had to destroy these ancient idols on the wall in order to have the power or the ability, or at least have the ability unlocked for us to save this poor young woman, of whom I assume we have a romantic interest into, if not a familial of some sort. It is always like implied romantic, which is nice. You want to save the people you care about. We came here with our horse, which I guess they didn't tell us the name of, but I believe the name is Aggro, which you can hear every time the guy calls, and the guy's name is Wander. So these ancient statues on the wall each depict Colossi, real beings in the world that we have been sent to destroy. So that's pretty much all I have to say at this point. Let's go on the quest here. So when we're next to a horse, there is some horse riding options. Now, a lot of people kind of give this game a lot of flack for its horse controls. I feel like they don't necessarily understand, or perhaps have not seen the same developer, I guess, documentaries that you can find on YouTube and such. The horse was designed to be like an animal, and you know, animals are free spirits. We control a certain portion of them if they're, you know, if we choose to do so. And here's the sort of light that we have used to find where we are. Where the light comes together, that's where we gotta go. So really, this game is very much like, you know, you are a boy controlling the horse, you know, instead of like you controlling the horse, if that's the way to put it. But as you can see, it's a super sprawling open world here. We can go in any direction. There are certain things to collect, although not too many. But really, the main quest here is to find and destroy these colossi on the wall, of which I believe he said there were 16. So that's what we're gonna set off to do, and hopefully we can get through the first colossi battle. And here we can see the map. So for this game, you know, when this game came out, which I guess they released it around 2005. This was a pretty massive world map. It's not like, you know, Skyrim, but it's pretty big, especially for kind of what the game was trying to do. It was really ahead of its time in a lot of aspects, including stuff like that. So yeah, but now you guys can see why at least it's considered an enjoyable game. That was a pretty badass intro, as far as intros go, man. Intros are super important to games, you know. Sometimes you play games and it's like you just want the intro to be over so you can play it. But there's quite a few times where I'm like, I just wish I could sit and watch more of the intro because it's super intriguing. And this game was one of those. So we seem to have found our way to the correct location. It's time to transform into Nathan Drake for a second here. All right. So we are very much an inexperienced warrior with the sword, no more than a young boy. So you can even see the way that we swing swords, and you know, funnily enough, I never noticed that. But I used to take a martial arts class when I was like a kid, and it was Japanese martial arts, Shinkendo, I believe it was called. But one of the first lessons they teach us is never to angle your sword towards the direction of the leg that you have out in front. Obviously, because if you slip up and make a mistake, you just nicked off a part of your own leg, which you can see Aggro doing every time he swings his sword here. And since these developers are Japanese, I imagine this is something they would have known, and it seems to me that was probably intentionally done to show how inexperienced this boy is as a warrior, you know, clearly not doing the correct things. Oh boy. Alright, so we need to scale. Like I said, time to get that naughty dog on. A lot of this game is about scaling. Using R1, you can see down on the bottom right corner we've got a pink circle, and that's our stamina. If our stamina's out, then we're done. We fall from whatever we're grabbing onto. So this becomes a super important mechanic for the game. Obviously, you don't want to fall. That's a pretty easy thing to not do here. So we do have some camera adjustments here. And away we go. Up the stairs we go, and into the tunnel. Oi, what's in this tunnel you're speaking of? That was the worst Samwise Gamgee I've ever done in my life, but you guys understand the reference. That's all. That's all I need, just the reference to be understood. There are dive rolls, you can see. So, you know, a tutorial, scaling this to find our first Colossi. I like it when they put the tutorial as part of the game, so you kind of understand. But you're not, like, stuck in, like, a tutorial level, so to speak. There's really no way to do that in an open world game anyway. So, have I mentioned this is one of my all-time favorite games? I don't know if I've said that before. I'd give this game a 10 out of 10 if I rated games. And really, the bigger thing is if anybody cared about my ratings of games. Oh. Big Mama. Oh, yeah. So we get our first glimpse here of one of the massive colossi that Dormine was talking about. We have two weapons in this game, besides bitch slapping, which I don't think is a thing that Wander does. We've got our sword and we got our bow and arrow here. So with the bow, you can stand still and you can aim, and the bow becomes very important too for ranged battles. Now we are supposed to destroy this hulking creature, although he seems pretty passive right now. I imagine if we get closer, certain things will start to happen. Also, some of the best music in the game will start playing if I'm not mistaken. Beautiful. I imagine this fight's gonna get a little hairy, so let me turn down the audio maybe a little bit here. I don't know if it's too loud or not. But the battle music has started. He seems like he knows what's up here, so let's try and do our best here. Let's see that massive health bar at the top, and really as a first-time player, you're kind of like in awe of this creature and confused about what to do. If you've played a lot of video games, you noticed every time I hit him in the fur, you know, instead of bouncing off, you can see some blood appear there. This right here, right now, this tension and this boss battle, I mean, this is why this game is so freaking amazing. I mean, just the scale of everything, and us as just a kid trying to take these down. All for an issue of the heart. Not the band heart, but our actual heart. Hold up thy sword to reflect the light onto the colossi. Its vitals shall be revealed. I'm seeing some kneecap action going on there. Kneecap action is what I always type into Pornhub, because that's the only thing I need to see. All right, I definitely see some of that more of that fur. But unfortunately, the arrows don't seem to be doing the trick. So what else do we have in our disposal here? Well, gotta watch our own health. And to be fair, guys, I don't remember playing, like, I've played this game maybe twice all the way through and some other select times. So I don't really remember a ton of this game because I haven't played it in years. So hopefully that means you can go through, you know, watching this game. Razor sword. As we stab his leg, the Colossi falls. Well, we're getting pretty close to falling too. Just get one more stabby. And we really do have to watch our stamina bar. Because if not, we'll fall. Fall too many times and we're going to be in some serious trouble as far as our health goes. We are going to take this guy down. Stab it. There. Alright. He's down. He's not out. Okay. It's time to do some climbing here. Really got to watch that stamina bar. As soon as that goes out, we fall. So take the time to rest when you can, but if you lose your balance... And of course, here comes the shakes. So here, I don't mind falling because I can rest on this little platform here. Now that our stamina's back up, it really is a battle of will right now. When you're crawling on the back of a man's hairy shoulders, some things in life start to put in perspective, man. My life isn't so bad. I took off work today. You know, I was pretty exhausted. I haven't been feeling too well. That's nothing, man. That's nothing compared to what my boy's going through here. But here we see something shiny blown out of his head. And this is where our kindergarten mentality comes in to save the day. You see something shiny, stab it. As you can see, blood gushes. This is such an epic battle. But the more we hit his critical points, the way, you know, our arrows were doing nothing, but his weak spots are really where you want to stab the knife, so to speak. But I'm also stabbing a gentle creature in the brain. Although, to be fair, he was stomping on us, so how gentle is he? Who knows? But we finally defeated our first Colossus. What are these things? What is that? And that looked like it hurt. As Wander destroys the first of the 16 Colossi, we get to save. So we have a different save file on here, I guess, when I did my PlayStation Now trial. So we'll go ahead and save in a different location. How does that feel, guys? With me on this journey, we took down our first Colossus. But there's much more in store. Having a kind of an Edward and Bella moment here with the man, you know, watching over me while I'm sleeping. I don't know if I appreciate that. Team Edward. And I awake in the same location in which I started. Things are starting to become very confusing for this poor gentleman. destroyed and turned to dust. So, each of these statues, it seems, represents one of those magnificent beings that we just had our eyes on and destroyed. And as we destroyed it, we made... Raise thy courage to defeat it. Anything. Anything to save the pretty girl. Now this game is one of a 2-game set, soon to be a 3-game set with The Last Guardian. The first game in the series, Ico, was a beautiful game. I believe this is technically considered the prequel to Ico. So they are set in the same universe, and you'll start to see some different story ties if you have played Ico and not this game, or, you know, if we eventually do an Ico Let's Play, you'll see how these 2 games tie together and why it's so infuriatingly frustrating that Last Guardian hasn't come out yet, because there's a lot of questions that need answered. And right now, you know, just as players yourself in this game, you see a lot of questions that need answered already. What's the point of destroying these statues? I suppose the end game is for us to save this daughter, and as we asked Dormine, this is what we have to do. 2, what were those black tendrils that came out of the Colossus and into us? 3, why did we pass out and wake up here? And of course, number 4, who was the shadowy figure that was staring down at me as I awoke? These are all the questions that crossed my mind when I was first playing the game, and these intricacies, the intriguing plot elements, are really what drove me to move on forward. But we have another target. Unfortunately for you guys, you're watching this on YouTube. Sucks for you, because I can play this any game I want to. I'm sorry. Come on, man. Don't be a dick. These people are watching your show. Don't. Offer a prayer and thy wounds shall be sealed. Well, this is just the beginning of a journey. These things that he was just talking about are actually your save points. So you'll find these ancient stone tablets in different areas and locales, and this is how you will save the game. We just happened to save our game, so how exactly does this work here? And of course my horse friend. Well, you guys probably know what was coming. I was starting to, you know, tee you guys off, so to speak. But I would like to end this episode on a high note. At least of us riding off towards our next destination. Again, such a beautiful game, and I'm really happy to be playing it again. I hope you guys are happy to see it. A lot more in store now that I've got the streaming ability of tons of the older school games like this and Ico and you know, different games of that caliber. You know, all the God of Wars games, the original BioShocks. Man, I mean, there's like a gold mine of stuff to start there. But you can see, I mean, this is just the tip of the map, tip of the iceberg, tip of the Colossus, and a tip of the hat from me to you for sitting down and watching this Let's Play. Thank you guys for joining me here. We'll start on another quest. We've defeated our first Colossi, and many more mysteries, heartache, and challenges await us later on in the game. So please, I highly recommend watching this game and at least, you know, picking it up for yourself to play along while we're here, because there is no better experience in pretty much all of gaming. If you guys like the video, it really helps my channel out if you guys, you know, give the video a thumbs up. And if you guys want to see more content or enjoy, you know, more content from me, subscribing to me is the best way to show me that, you know, you guys want more content to be made. So thank you guys for dropping by. My name is MechaWill. This is the first episode of Shadow of the Colossus. I hope to see you guys next show.